I thought I told you. Only rocking with the agent and the broker, yeah. Move over. We getting bolder. Making moves like the agent and the broker, yeah. Generational wealth, they bout that. Yeah, we took some L's, but we bounced back. Financial literacy, got that. Closing up the wealth gap, yeah, I'm black. Welcome to the Agent and Broker Podcast, hosted by Julian and James. And you know they bringing nothing but that black boss talk, man. Cause there's no currency stronger than the black dollar. And it's time we let the world know. But first we gotta grow though, and that's for sure.
Peace. Good evening. What's going on, James?
Man, just here, ready for this show. I'm doing good. How you doing, brother?
Absolutely. I'm doing amazing, man.
Awesome,
Feeling real good this week. Finally, some wind back under me, man. Getting back right. So feeling real good finally. It's been a minute, but I'm feeling
Definitely
real good, man. Real good. You got your drink? You ready for the night, man?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Awesome. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Welcome to another episode of the Agent and Broker Podcast. I am your co-host, Julian, the agent, license W626089.
And this is James, license number W282336 down here in Florida, my friend. So we up for another episode. Hey, what number of episode this is?
This is episode 23.
23.
We on number 23, y'all. Like, we really, excuse me, we really moving with it, man.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty excited,
man. And once we really start getting active on social media, we'll start getting some more visitors coming in and checking the podcast out. So I'm excited for that, man.
Me too, man. You're sticking it one day at a time. Bring as much value as possible. Have fun with it.
That's all we can do. It's a day at a time, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Definitely. I wanted to talk about any good wins last week. I mean, I know we did a class last week at the Eatonville Chamber of Commerce, so shout out to them. And thanks to James, for coming out, and we did I think it was good, man. We talked about money mindset and changing the mindset on how you look at money. And I think we piqued a lot of interest there. What you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think we pick a lot of interest, and it's the whole concept, just having people think different, because if you think of the concept of money, money, it's like people see $100 bill or $20 bill. That's what they call money, right. But really it's just paper, so pretty much if you understand money the same way you understood money for the past 20, 30, 40 years, and your way of understanding money is not fully working on how you expect it to work, then that means there must be something you don't know, not aware of as of yet, right. So overall, I think, we had a lot of great interest. People was asking a lot of questions. When you really know if something was a win, is when people asking questions. But I don't know if you remember, man, but it was questions after questions after questions. Absolutely. So I really look forward for us to do more of these. But yeah, man, I think it was an amazing event we had, and I think we're there tomorrow again, right?
Yeah, tomorrow at 6:00. We'll be covering credit, restoring your credit, and we're going to get funding. So tomorrow should be another good one. I think more people will show up tomorrow or watch online. So if you want to watch live, you can watch at the Chamber of Commerce's Instagram or Facebook page. So that is Eatonville Chamber of Commerce. You could Google them. You can look them up. They'll be having they'll have everything live, but we'll have a content guy next week. So we're gonna be getting some good clips and information recorded tomorrow. So I look forward to
Awesome.
that entire class, man. It's gonna be good. And the
Absolutely.
following week, the following week we're gonna be, going through, creating your bank and your IUL, your insurance policy. So
Which is very important, very, very important to our community. I just love the fact that we have boots on the ground, man. You and I, it's not just being here bringing value to live on our podcast, but we really have boots in the ground. We really go and get you to really touch our people, and give them the value of everything. We have brochures, we answer their question, we get their number, they get in personal conversation with us over the phone. So you cannot beat that, so I truly enjoy it. I know you enjoy it as well. And
Absolutely.
I just want more of us to be out there doing that, because our people need us. Like, our community, they need this. So if God ever put in your heart, or you ever wondered how to get in the financial industry, just reach out, and then we'll give you everything you need, give you all the information. And if it makes sense, you move with it, get licensed, and get in your community, get involved, because you might be the reason somebody actually retirement is actually a success. Remember this young lady that was, well, not young lady, she's a little older, but she was asking so many questions because she's coming towards retirement. She wants to know, well, how does a fixed index annuity work? Is it a good option for me? Like, the people going through stuff out there, and they have questions, and as a licensed individual, you can help them.
100%. Like, they need us, and like, the more of us that gets licensed, this isn't a hard license to get, man. Look at this, y'all. We just had a excuse me, we had a 12th grader graduate, and he got his license already. He graduated like 2.5 weeks ago. He's already licensed for life insurance. This isn't complicated, and he's already teaching other people how to get licensed and how to study.
This guy's on fire, man.
This is straight out of high school. He looked at college and was just like, yeah, that's not a smart decision for me. So let me look more into this field over here, finances. And he's taking it and he's running with it, and he's learning fast, extremely fast. So this is something where he is preparing. That's something that he's doing to prepare for what's coming up in the future here. And when I asked him, what got you like this? What prepared you, or what motivated you? He was just like, during the pandemic is when he really looked at this whole thing differently. And he got on YouTube, he got on Google, and he started Googling, places to put his money, where to put his money, what should he do during these times of the pandemic. And that was after he saw college as kind of like being a scam. He told me, he was just like, nah, it's a scam. I'm not going down that route. I'd rather not get the degree. I'll go get either a trade or something. But us introducing this, what we do to him, piqued his interest, and that dude has been on me ever since. We met him at that college career fair for the high school students. So,
which is pretty cool, man. And that's
Go ahead.
I think you broke off a little bit, but yeah, I was gonna say, which is pretty cool. And as you're talking about him, I mean, whenever we speak with him, he's very excited. It's like, to me, the next generation, I'm seeing two categories right now. Getting out of high school, there are a lot of people in that generation that's very emotional, and I'm just speaking in a broad sector. A lot of the next generation, they're very emotional. They get caught up in a lot of things, a lot of stress, a lot of things trying to process. And also, there's a big group as well that's like saying, like, man, these millennials, these Gen X, these Gen Zs, the baby boomers, I want nothing to do with them, with their lifestyle. So I want to make money right now when I'm 17, 18, 19 years old. That's why you have a lot of young people right now making money in the internet. They're learning trades, and they say, hey, college is not for me. So I have a lot of respect for that.
For real. A lot of them, like, you have some that still want to go to college, and then you have the ones who just look at that like, no, I'm going to go this route. So we have another young lady who is going to college, but she's working on getting licensed. You know, college is, of course, her priority, but you know, people's parents and you know, they push them to go to college too. So I'm not going to sit here and downplay college. We're not downplaying college,
Of
anybody,
course not.
everybody, or anything. You know, it's what works for some people doesn't work for all, and that's what we're
100%.
getting at. Yeah, we want to get at that and make that clear and transparent. So, college may be for you, college may not be for you. Like I went to college, James didn't go to college, so we got the best of both worlds here. We have both sides. That's a whole different network. Now it's just when you get to college, how are you utilizing those, you know, tools that you have, those skills while you're in college? So I think it's gonna be exciting, man, watching these young the youth grow in the agency, man. And you know, I'm looking forward to that.
Me too, man. I'm very excited for them.
But yup. So let's get started on tonight's episode, and we're gonna be covering this recession, y'all, or you know, what's going on in the market right now, things you can do to prepare yourself, and you know, kind of just breaking that down, what a recession is, and talking about the history of recessions and what happened in the past, and how you can gear yourself and prepare yourself and your family during these times so you're not affected at a, you know, badly, really. So you're not really just, you know, going underwater with everything. So we want to keep you above the current, not at the current, but above it,
Above,
you know, and comfortably above it. So tonight we're gonna, you know, jump in and get started on what a recession is. Let's break that down because not everybody knows what a recession is. So I'm gonna add this to the screen. On the official recession definition. So I'm gonna let James read this really
actually,
quick.
it's kind of small in my screen, Julian.
Oh, it's small.
Yeah,
Okay,
you know,
I'll read it. Yeah,
this time. Yeah, please.
Okay, no problem. I'll read it. But so the recession. This came from Forbes. So it says official recession definition. During a recession, the economy struggles. People lose work. Companies make fewer sales and the country's overall economic output declines. The point where the economy officially falls into a recession depends on a variety of factors. In 1974, economist Julius Shishkin came up with a few rules of thumb to define a recession. That was the most popular. The most popular was 2 consecutive quarters of declining GDP. GDP is gross domestic product, if you didn't understand or didn't know that. A healthy economy expands over time. So 2 quarters in a row of contracting output suggests there are serious underlying problems, according to Shishkin. This definition of a recession became a common standard over the years. The National Bureau of Economic Research, NBER, is generally recognized as the authority that defines the starting and ending dates of the U.S. recessions. NBER has its own official definition of what constitutes a recession, namely a significant decline in economic activity spread across the economy, lasting more than a few months, normally visible in real GDP, real income, employment, industrial production, and wholesale retail sales. The NBER's definition is more flexible than Shishkin's rule for determining what a recession is. For example, the coronavirus could potentially create a W-shaped recession where the economy falls one quarter, starts to grow, and then drops again in the future. This would not be a recession by Shishkin's rules, but could be under the NBER's definition of a recession. So I'm gonna take that off and we gonna tap in.
Mm-hmm.
So reading all of that, man, what's your input on this, James, and how do you feel about it and where we currently are?
I mean, my input on that and how I feel about it is pretty simple. It's never fun in a recession, you know. I lived through 2008, even though I didn't really fully understand what was happening, but I lived through it. So when it comes to play part of like be part of a recession, everything just going down south with the economy. So I was looking at watching somebody that's very credible who says like even the housing market right now is probably within the 12 to 24 months will go about maybe 20 to 30% decrease. You're looking at CEOs of different companies, big people ahead of finance in the finance industry that's actually warning people. Elon Musk is one of the person that been talking about having a recession, so some people may not understand the weight of a recession because they are young. But if you lived through 2008, which we know the subprime lending, which is what really get a big hit on the real estate mortgage industry. Now, they're all regulations that have been put to prevent that from happening. But as you are looking, the rise of inflation, interest rate, there is actually something big going to happen. So, I mean, I feel like people should really pay attention to that and really plan accordingly, Julian, on how they're going to go through that. Because as you just read, people will lose their job. Because in a recession, if your employer, if things get really tough where you're working at, there is no guarantee that you're going to have that job. And it kind of blown my mind, man, when people are looking for a job that's guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. If anything that's guaranteed is when you are able to bet on yourself. Because any recession, any big impact in the economy, your job get a hit, guess what? They're going to have to let you go. They're going to have to let a lot of people go. And it's not their fault, so that's one of the main factors of being an entrepreneur as well. When you find a good industry to be part of now, yes, inflation and recession happens, but you can pivot and adjust because you have options. So I really think this is right now, it's highly recommended. Anyone that's actually have a job right now should really look for skills, a trading skill to actually, do, simply because in a recession, you cannot depend on your job. So if you can shadow somebody who does AC work, so you can learn how to work on AC to hustle, great, go do it. If you want to get your real estate license, do it. If you want to get your life insurance license, do it. Any other skills that you can acquire to maintain your finances for yourself and your family, you need to start thinking these strategies right now, because I promise you, when that recession hit, we don't know what's going to happen. Well, some are already saying we are in a recession, but when that trigger, when the economy really take a big hit, and then now your job is in jeopardy, gas prices is high, everything is expensive, everything is going high. You need to be prepared that you have a skill in your back pocket, or you working a skill right now, so you can actually, pivot and adjust. Because what you don't want to do is to be that person who's reacting to that market fall. It's just gonna hurt you. It's just really gonna hurt you. So that's what I would say, and that's how I feel about it, bro.
I like that. I agree 100%, man. You're not ready. It's gonna be a world of trouble if you're not ready. And most of the people that's gonna get affected are middle class Americans. Like, it's about to get crazy. Like James said, interest rates are sky high. I think I was tuned in the pre-market Mondays from EYL, and MG, the mortgage guy, he's their mortgage, he's their mortgage go-to person. And he was saying that interest rates are up in the housing market about 6% right now.
Yeah, big time.
We went from people getting 0.5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2% interest rates to up to 3, like not even a year ago, y'all. Like that low, and we're already up to 6%. So these are things like interest rates being that high and inflation being, 7, 8%. Some economists say is around like 14%. So America's never seen this before. Like James said, there were clauses and things put in place after that last recession, so that didn't happen again. But we're at a point where they're looking at stuff that's never been done before. And then we're also in a turn point where we're looking at different currencies over here with cryptocurrency going on, and that market taking a big tank right now. They're draining that market out. They're draining the stock markets out, and everything's being drained. And during these times is when millionaires are made. And I hate to say it that way, but it's the truth. The recession benefits people who have been preparing in the past, and it destroys people who have not been preparing.
Yep.
So if you're not preparing in any way, like if you don't have a skill set, you don't have, any type of trade or anything that can make you money that most people won't really want to do. Like James said, an AC, go shadow somebody that works on AC.
Yeah, 100%.
Work on cars, because people not going to be able to afford to take it to a real mechanic. So if you have that skill, you can lower your price a little bit, and people will come to you to save a buck, because that makes sense to their pockets financially. So even fixing cars to, painting houses or any type of labor like that, people are looking for that type of work, because most people who have money don't really want to do that. They rather pay to save their time. People pay to save their time, and people will pay high price. If you do good work, people will pay high price with whatever you do. And even coaching now, like people are becoming coaches, and whatever they've been in a career, they turn around and become a personal coach themselves, a life coach, a skill coach, whatever that type of coach is. You can charge people based off of, how you value yourself. I've seen coaches charge from $200 all the way up to $120,000 for an hour.
Yep.
It costs $120,000 to $150,000 to sit with this brother for an hour.
Yep.
Oh no, that's for his mastermind. For an hour is $50,000. For you to sit down and talk to him for an hour, it costs you $50,000. But he set his life up that way, and he has clients always booked with him. So he looked at life a different way. But you have to start developing skill sets during these times. One thing that definition covered, like James, he said a little bit of it, but in the times of a recession, even though the economy is going up and down, things like that, you're looking at the numbers, but the things that are affected are your jobs.
Yep.
Employment.
Middle class get hit really hard.
Yeah, your income. Industrial production, wholesale, retail sales, things start going up. Inflation comes because of these certain things. So where we are right now, I always encourage people around me to get skill sets. Like my mother, like, hey, you can get a notary license.
Yep.
A notary license costs, I think it costs less than $200. The course is only 3 hours. You could take it online. You could get licensed to be a notary, to do notaries. You can charge people during this time, since gas is up. You can charge people $50 to $75 to go to them. If you drive less than an hour away to travel to somebody to do a notary document, and then you can charge $25 per document that you're notarizing.
That's true. That actually a great skill. I think you had referred me to an individual. I was actually getting my Georgia license. She came to my office, and literally I paid her, I think, like $35. She came, she looked at the document, and then whatever, and then she go ahead and notarize the paper. She didn't even spend like 10 minutes. I paid her like $35, I believe. So you can be a mobile notary. That's just an idea, and it's a great skill to, it's a great trade.
I'm getting
that.
I'm getting that license. I'm getting that license.
Man, that's a good one, a really good one to have.
Notary and insurance license, like insurance. And another skill or something to get into is insurance, selling life and health insurance. People are like, why would I sell life insurance during a recession? Did you know that J.C. Penney was saved by an insurance policy during the recession? during the Great Depression and that recession that was going on back in the 30s. J.C. Penney tapped into his whole life insurance policy, utilized the cash value to help pay employees, to help keep the company running.
Yep.
So you saying that why would I need life insurance during a recession? We're going to debunk all of that during this episode.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I would like anyone that's like really young right now listening to this. Listen, if you're young, this is what I'm thinking to myself right now, man. So you're young. Say you're lucky enough to be living with your mom and dad still. So which means your mom and dad, your parents, or your legal guardian will actually be the one who truly feel that. As you're young, maybe you don't have any bills in the house and you just chilling. So you can be that person who actually learn the new skills and help your legal guardian or your parents during that recession. Because what happened in recession, you get a lot of foreclosures. You get a lot of evictions, So imagine you listening to this, you say, man, what can I do? Maybe I get to fix cars. Maybe I get my notary license. Maybe I do, get my insurance license, whatever it may be. You can actually contribute to your household and make sure that you have a positive impact on this. If you're young, and if you're older, of course, like I said, like Julian just said, get the skills. Stop being like waiting for stuff to happen and depending on one income. It don't make sense.
You can't
because
do that
if you have only one source of income, what happened if that one source of income gone? You have no luck. And talking about an IUL, talking about a recession, somebody right now who already have a overfunded IUL. And if you don't know what that means, check off I don't remember what episode, but you see the title where we really talk about IUL. But say somebody overfund an IUL for the past few years, and boom, a recession hits. Boom, they lose their job. Guess what? IUL can come as a savior to bring money in that house.
Right.
Where you borrow against your death benefits, and then you continue to pay the bills.
Right.
So when somebody say, why would I have a life insurance policy, like Julian said? Well, listen, life insurance save life and he save bills too.
Oh yeah.
Shoot.
It's for life.
Huh?
I said it's for life.
It's for life. So one thing you can do right now is to get with us. Say, ask us more question about an IUL. Well, right now, as you have a job, you have good money coming in, you overfund an IUL, you overfund an index universal life insurance, and then you can have access to it. God forbid you lose your job, you have money saved up somewhere. So you don't have to go all stressed out, and that money will be accumulating interest as well. This is one of the main reasons people use it. But you have a good life insurance policy and it's already overfunded, Julian. To me, going to the recession, I mean, you get a lot of stuff covered with that IUL. That's just my opinion, but it's reality.
Yeah, you're ready for everything. Honestly, like you're ready to make a financial decision, like James just mentioned. Houses, foreclosed. You can go and get houses for cheap, probably as cheap as you can. You've seen them in the last 10 years. You probably can go and pick up a property, or you can go and invest in what we'll get into, like the stock market and what that's looking like right now, where everything is down. Like that's the perfect time to buy. And I'm not giving financial, advice or anything, but the best time, if you're going to invest in stock markets, you want to invest when prices are discounted, which is during, a bear market, when everything is down in the negatives. Things are looking crazy right now. All of those people who invest in the market, they're going crazy. People calling their financial advisors. But this is the time, like if you had a policy, a whole life or IUL, and you could utilize that to go and buy some stock. You can utilize that to go create whatever, some wealth with, real estate. These are things that this is why I was saying people become millionaires during a recession, because they have been preparing for that recession to happen. Recessions are known to happen every 10 or so years. So if you know that, okay, every 10 or so years, something in the economy is going to happen, where things are going to go down. Let me prepare myself for the upcoming 10 years to when things get shaky again, so that I'm ready, I'm prepared. I have a little bit of liquidity here. I have an option to be liquid, and my money is also safe, earning the interest at the same time. So like, those are things you got to be really looking out for when it comes to prepping and preparing for things that, are about to come. Skill sets, jobs, things are going automated, man. All the CEOs and founders, whoever, they're gonna look at this and how can they pivot. Like, if I have to lay people off to keep my business running, you can't be mad because they're laying people off. That person, they hate to lay people off, but at the end of the day, you have to do, if you're the owner of that company, you have to do what is best for your company. The decisions has to be made for your company, not for those people who are losing their jobs. At the end of the day, you can be a victim or you can be proactive and avoid these type of situations by preparing for things that can happen.
100%. And as you're saying that, I remember during the whole COVID period, my brother was telling me about this lady who used to work on a hotel, I think 36 years in. 36 years in. COVID happened and they had to lay her off. But here's what people don't understand, man. Let that second in your head. Businesses do not see you as an individual. You're so emotionally attached to what you do. I mean, we are emotional beings, whatever, we understand. But an entity is an entity. A business only see your value based on the value you bring to them.
Right.
So they see you as a sub entity, if I may say. You just another entity working for their entity. So they see you as a business tools. You could be an asset or you can become a liability. When are you an asset to a business? Is when the economy is doing good. I used to work in theme park. Economy is doing good. People come to the park make money. We good.
Right.
COVID happened. Park had to close. Guess what? You no good no more. So what am I saying to you? you know, listen, you can become a liability to a company. Right. And the moment you become a liability to a company, they don't have any emotion attached to you. They have to let that liability go so they can maintain themselves.
Right.
So you think about if you was in their position. If you were in their position, you own a company, say you have, $500,000 coming in every month, but you're spending $1 million every month. So now you $500,000 in the hole. So what do you have to do? You have to let people go. So it's in the same token. Their profit comes before you. Get that in your head. I don't care how your boss make you feel, how your business, I don't care how anyone make you feel at your job. You're not secure. The only thing that is secure is when you can bet on yourself. You say, hey, I have a trade. I can fix cars. I have a car problem. I'm going to call you. I'm going to give you $150 to fix that problem for me because I can fix it. That's when you can bet on yourself. But if you're not able to have a skill to actually go out there and do what you got to do, where everything you bet on yourself, you put your family in your back to bet on yourself and make it happen, and you only depending on a job, you're only a second away from becoming a liability to that job. And the moment you do, they'll cut you off. So many conversations during COVID, Julian, where people coming to me, they say, man, I got laid off. They was paying them at one point, and then now they stopped the payment. They don't know what to do. The mortgages still do. When they go ahead and have the mortgage program, where I later have somebody come to me for a service in real estate, and they actually signed up for a mortgage program, a special program from their bank. They didn't even know they actually refinanced their house. So now a second person, they actually went and actually did a forbearance where they went a few months, they didn't pay their house, and all that interest is actually end up adding back in the back of the loan. And most people don't know that. They think, oh, it's a free program. No, it's not free. They just give you a break, but you're going to end up paying way more for it at the end. So when things like that happen, now I'm not bragging about myself. When they sent me that stuff during the whole COVID, my wife and I would look at it, we just tear it apart. We didn't want this. simply because we understand this forbearance it become a big weight on your shoulder in the future. So we was able to go through. We didn't need anything. But when something comes for free to you, you have to understand it's for free to you now, but it's gonna cost you 10 times more.
Right.
Especially with that example I just tell you. So if I were you right now, knowing there's a recession coming along, like we said, man, we cannot repeat it enough. Get a skill, get to life insurance, health insurance, get to maybe real estate. I don't know how much of an impact we're gonna have, to precisely get into fixing cars, get into AC. We in Florida, it's always hot. Like, it don't matter if you're in a recession. If your AC go out in Florida, you going to pay somebody a couple $100. You're gonna find it even though you don't have it.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I would say on that, man. I don't want to get too carried away, but get a skill, okay?
Absolutely. 100%. All right, so let's jump back into these definitions here, and on the recession part of things, and what causes the recession. So we know that the definition, where it originated from, and how they started measuring recessions. So what causes the recession? So let's read this here. This is more than one way for a recession to get started, from a sudden economic shock to fallout from uncontrolled inflation. There's that word again, that word that we've been talking about since we started the podcast is inflation. And another reason why we promote, that IUL is because of inflation. These phenomena are some of the main drivers of a recession. The first one is a sudden economic shock. An economic shock is a surprise problem that creates serious financial damage. In the 1970s, OPEC cut off the supply of oil to the U.S. without warning, causing a recession, not to mention endless lines at gas stations. The coronavirus outbreak, which shut down economies worldwide, is the most recent example of a sudden economic shock. And kind of to go over something about that, the coronavirus, that was a sudden economic shock where everything just stopped. And how you got to look at this is currency. We've covered this before. Currency, the root word is current, and when the current stops, everything stops. So when money stops, everything stops. This is why people were getting laid off. This is why decisions had to be made, and a lot of businesses closed down because a lot of businesses didn't have reserves. A lot of businesses didn't have life insurance that they could rely on to help pay for certain things during that time, like JCPenney did. But the ones who won, the ones who thrive, or the ones who stayed up and running during the recession has those reserves. They have the money. They have their money invested in insurance policies, and they're operating like banks. One thing you want to do when you become a profitable business and you're thriving and you're arrived where you want to be and you're thriving, your next step should be becoming a bank. You don't want to become stagnant. You want to become a bank with your business. If your business transitions into a bank, you probably like, how would I do that? It's not that hard. Like JP Morgan Chase did that. They started off as a business and evolved into a bank. They're in multiple things. Mortgages, freaking real estate, anything you can think of, they have their hand in it. So you should be looking, when these economic shocks come, that's a time to pivot, man. And that's a time to go harder. During the pandemic, I remember we was in PHP during the pandemic when that happened. And what did we do? We pivoted. People were laid off. Thousands and millions of people laid off. And we were in meetings. We had like 2 business opportunity meetings a week. People were coming in and we were recruiting heavy. And the company probably recruited way more people than it ever did during that time.
Yep.
And that was because we were in that time of economic shock. And people just who thought that their job will always be there was no longer there. And usually those ones who think like that are the ones that are always caught lacking.
100%.
So that is something you want to be prepared whenever there's a sudden economic shock. And COVID, if that didn't teach you, man, I don't know what's going to teach you, honestly.
Yeah. People just reacting to things. And, you know, before you go to the next one, I truly believe if you don't have any guidance in life, and I'm just thinking about that as we go, you should literally work from recession to recession. So what do I mean by that? Let me unpack that real quick. So say you're not ready for this recession, like for the next recession, right? Cool. You're not ready for it. Things happen. At least you listen to this podcast. Hopefully you actually learn a new trade, new skill, and then you good. So now your next goal is for the next 10 years, you need to go work and get ready for the next recession. So you have 10 years to potentially get into the next recession so you can be ready. So it's kind of like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, you know. So if that happened to you one time, so as I'm speaking, I don't want to call anybody out, but if I will call people out. Say you are very, very older, maybe you're in your late 50s or 60s. If a recession always caught you with your pens down, there's something you're not doing right. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, like, you need to understand how finance work, how money work. And I believe people are not humble enough, Julian, to say, you know what? I don't know certain things that I need to find out about it. Like, I truly believe people, like, your ego is what's keeping you behind. Like, literally, man. Like, get your ego out the way. And I always say this, if somebody is 5 years old or less, as long as I can learn something from them, I'm going to get wherever I need to get to learn from them.
Right.
When it comes to that, I don't have any ego because I'm a student of life. I'm going to learn whatever I have to learn. But if you've been through, let's just say 2 or 3 recession or 4 recession throughout your life, and you always get caught with your pens down and you're blaming government, you're blaming everything, there's something you're not seeing during the process. You know, so it just come to mind for me to say that right now, man. I know you got to read the other section, but
for sure.
Let me go ahead and give it back to you before I get in trouble.
No, man, you good, man. You gotta know. We gotta know the truth. We gotta have these uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah,
we have to. Like, whether it's here, whether it's in the household, it doesn't matter. You gotta get uncomfortable because you don't want to get caught uncomfortable. You know, like during times like this.
Exactly.
It's not cool, and then it really affects you when you know your family, if you have kids or whatever, and they looking up to you, and you struggling. Like, that's a very, very tough situation to be in. So, you know, as an adult, like James said, if you 60 and you got caught with your pants down,
straight up,
and something's wrong.
Something's wrong, and you have to realize something is wrong, and you said, okay, how can I improve? The moment you say, how can I improve? How can I get things better? Then, hey, you just unlock a whole section of your brain so you can figure some stuff out.
Yeah.
You know, so that's, I mean, I don't want to get in trouble, man. Like I said, let's just keep going, bro.
All right. So the next thing that causes a recession is excessive debt. When individuals or businesses take on too much debt, the cost of servicing the debt can grow to the point where they can't pay their bills. Growing debt, defaults, and bankruptcies then capsize the economy. The housing bubble in the mid-aughts that led to the Great Recession is a prime example of excessive debt causing a recession. So taking on too much debt and not being able to manage that debt properly is another cause of a recession. And like I said, there were businesses that closed down. There were, you know, people that lost their jobs. You know, I'm sure businesses filed bankruptcy. I'm sure people filed bankruptcy. Like, this is real life aftermath. What we're going through right now is the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's only going to get worse before it gets better.
Yep.
So,
oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say with the debt. I mean, you know what I've seen, Julian, a lot of people, when it comes to debt, and I think it's the whole stigma of how people see debt. But a lot of us, we've been through this where we foolishly getting free money, and I say free with a quote, and we foolishly go spend it into, stupid things like buying the next pair of Jordan or the Gucci bag, and you just swipe your credit card like it's your money, So a lot of us, we are a victim of that. So let's lay that on the table, okay? So we're not judging you here. Don't judge yourself either. So let's lay it down on the table. So if you ever been in that situation, which most of us have, recognize it. Say, hey man, I've been a fool. I was living beyond my means. I couldn't afford that Prada purse. I couldn't afford that Gucci bag. I couldn't afford that Jordan for $600, and I went and purchased it anyway just to flex. Okay, cool. You own your mistake. You get it. Know that was a mistake. You need to learn how to use debt the proper way. If you have a credit card right now, you're swiping it to buy anything materialistic that just have to do with personal, feeling that make you feel good. Maybe, most likely, you are using that card for the wrong reason. Now, let me tell you, and I'm just going to open up that subject a little bit, right? Our people need to understand. Most of the time you see your role model. Let's just say you look up to a rapper, for example, and he just got the brand new Rolls Royce. He's flexing. He's doing XYZ. Now, let me tell you something. If he's smart enough or if she's smart enough, most likely they buy this liability for a reason. Maybe it's for tax write-offs. Maybe they was gonna pay Uncle Sam $500,000. Now they use that as something they can deduct from their taxes. I don't want to preach tax code to you. I'm not an expert in tax, but maybe they purchased that just so they can write off on their taxes as a business expense. But here you are working a regular job or just start your own business and you're not even there yet. You want to get that same Rolls Royce. You want to get that Maserati. Listen, people think, because your debt, like I said, put it on the table. We all been there. We all done that. Most of us been there. Let me say it. We all done that where we actually spend money on stupid stuff. Hey, listen, your boy right here, I spend money on stupid stuff with credit cards before I knew better, right? But just realize that just because somebody you look up to does something does not mean you automatically gonna do it. You must understand that there are things out there people are doing for a purpose. And if you don't understand that purpose, you're actually going to lose in life. Say you see somebody traveling all the time. That person may have an LLC that you have no idea about. They spend 50 grand on traveling each year, and then they deduct all that for tax purposes. And here you are using your W-2 money so you can flex. Come on, man. Wake up. Bro, like I said, I don't want to get in trouble tonight. Let's go ahead and get to the other part of things, man.
All good. So the next thing that causes the recession is, and this is from Forbes, y'all, asset bubbles. When investing decisions are driven by emotion, bad economic outcomes aren't far behind. Investors can become too optimistic during a strong economy. Former Fed Chair Alan Greenspan famously referred to this tendency as irrational exuberance in describing the outsized gains in the stock market in the late 1990s. Irrational exuberance inflates stock market and real estate bubbles. And when the bubble pops, panic selling can crash the market, causing a recession. Sounds familiar. Next is too much inflation. Inflation, again, is the steady upward trend in prices over time. Inflation isn't a bad thing per se, but excessive inflation is a dangerous phenomenon. Central banks control inflation by raising interest rates, and higher interest rates depress economic activity. Out of control inflation was an ongoing problem in the U.S. in the 1970s. To break the cycle, the Federal Reserve rapidly raised interest rates, which caused a recession. Look at that, y'all. Inflation. The
Again,
word we always talk about.
inflation.
And we talked about this last week at our class in Eatonville. And we were trying to, help people understand what inflation was, the easiest and simplest way as possible to see the cost of goods expand over time. And one example we use was like, okay, you have $1 or $5. You go to the corner store 20 years ago, you come home with a bag full of goodies. That $1 to $5 now can get you $1 can get you a pack of gum at the store. Like, and that's reality. And that's a prime example of inflation. Cost of goods rising over time.
100%.
And this definition said too much inflation can cause a recession, which is what was happening now. They printed excessive amounts of money during the pandemic. We're giving away money. So this is what happens when you think everything is free. Kind of similar to what James said about the mortgage forbearance plan. So the stimulus money was like forbearance money. Like, okay, well, here's your advance here. We're gonna catch y'all in the back end, hit you over the head with interest rates over here, skyrocket, sky high. You got gas prices almost $5. Like, it's real. Groceries are extremely high now. Like, you getting hit all over the place where you didn't even think about that because you're like, hey, I get this free money right now. But in the economy where everything operates around the movement of money, nothing is free. So that is a very important topic. Another thing that causes a recession is too much deflation. While runaway inflation can create a recession, deflation can be even worse. Deflation is when prices decline over time, which causes wages to contract, which further depresses prices. When a deflationary feedback loop gets out of hand, people and businesses stop spending, which undermines the economy. Central banks and economists have few tools to fix the underlying problems that cause deflation. Japan struggles with deflation throughout most of the 1990s, caused a severe recession. So deflation apparently seems to be even worse. So if people aren't spending, that means the money is stopping. So economy, remember, currency, once it stops, things crash, things get chaotic. So too much deflation, it's a bad thing. And last we have is technological change. New inventions increase productivity and help the economy over the long term, but there can be short-term periods of adjustment to technological breakthroughs. In the 19th century, there were waves of labor-saving technological improvements. The Industrial Revolution made entire professions obsolete, sparking recessions and hard times. Today, some economists worry that the AI and robots could cause recessions by eliminating whole categories of jobs. So, like James was saying, y'all, you're not protected. They are making robots to do any type of labor work. They're doing robots. People are outsourcing robots in software to do payroll for HR. People are outsourcing it. People are outsourcing virtual assistants from across the country. People are outsourcing everything. Systems are being put in place to where we don't have to, okay, you want $15 an hour or $20 an hour? Forget that. I'll pay this software over here where I know it's a robot and I don't have to hear about complaining. I don't have to worry about you calling out. I don't have to worry about anything. And I'll pay this robot over here and get the job done at a more efficient rate.
Robot don't need no vacation either.
At all. It could run all day long, every day. You don't have to call it off if you don't want to.
And
so, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is, if you look at your position right now, wherever you are in life and your job, your career, if you can be replaced by a robot or by a computer, you need to really start looking at other places, like literally, right? And I remember one somebody that's very known in the community, and the life insurance industry was talking about something. It says, okay, life insurance, yeah, you can actually try to digitalize it where people can go online and get a policy. But you know what? That emotional connection, speaking with another human being to understand your actual decision, will never go away. So that's one of the reasons insurance is not gonna go anywhere. Recession or not, life insurance is not gonna go anywhere. And I think 2.3 or 4 points ago, you was reading, you're talking about advertising and marketing, I believe, but people don't understand how important they are. Mm-hmm. Did you know? You can Google this. You as an individual, let me tell you how important you are. Like, you think you just get in your car, you drive to work, get back home. No, it's not just that. The average individual here in America, every day you get exposed to 4,000 to 10,000 pieces of advertisements. Let me repeat that. On average, one individual get exposed to 4,000 to 10,000 worth of advertisements. So when we talk about current, right? When we talk about current earlier with Julian, currency, that's how money flows, right? Cool. So if we go in a recession, just to show you how you are connected with what's going on every day. Right now, you are big assets to all company, even though you don't know about it. You think you're going down your way, 3 blocks down your street, you see a Papa John, Foresight, you just see it in the corner streets, and you just drive out your way. You just see it, you don't even think about it, but it's actually in your subconscious mind. The moment you feel like eating pizza, it's gonna come out and say, hey, 3 blocks away, there's a Papa John. When I go to work, I think I've seen one. You're gonna go to Google, go to the nearest Papa John. That's how powerful marketing is. You're very important. So here's what I'm saying. Through current, if Papa John's is not bringing enough money to keep that location or to stay in front of you through Google algorithm or Facebook algorithm, whatever, guess what? You're gonna buy less. And that's with every company. So if they cannot maintain consistency to market to you on a daily basis from 4,000 to 6,000 you see every day, then guess what? You're not gonna buy as much. So that means everything in the economy impact. And even if they were to try to actually stay in front of you, now they end up you losing money. Why? Because you probably don't have a job because your job let you go, or they cut on your hours, whatever the recession may bring for you, because you then choose to have a valuable trade where you can, stand up for yourself. Now, guess what? Everything goes down with the economy. They cannot market to you. And if they market to you, they're going to lose money because you're not going to buy anyway because you lose your job. Everything intertwined. So when you think of inflation and how things are moving and you think you're just living a regular life, you just bogusing yourself. You're just bogusing yourself. Because at the end of the day, you will get affected. And your ignorance is what's going to get you to get affected more because want it or not, things will happen in life. And before I go forward, man, I just feel very, very interested about this topic, Julian. My main concern, Julian, with the people who will get really, really hurt during the next recession or the next big crash. And I think I said that at the beginning of the show, is the people who are so driven by what society have to offer. And they have a lot of attachment to, instant gratification, and they feeling is so involved to what's going on, whether it's social media or relationship with friends and family. They're just such emotional beings, and they live into their own reality until crap hit the fence. These are the people. I mean, I'm not saying I'm concerned about them, but I just hope they wake up. Because your emotions don't pay the bills. Your emotion don't actually go through a recession. You just gotta open your eyes and really understand what's out there. Because actually, let me just say this. Let me just say this to all my listeners out there. Listen, this is an open show. I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. And I think I did a reel on what I'm going to say just now. Listen to my voice or read my lips. People don't care about you or what you do. Let me repeat that. People don't care about you or what you do. I hope that's sinking for a minute. Let me do it. Let me say it a third time. People don't care about you or what you do. And the moment you realize that, you start thinking of life a different way. Now, I'm not saying for you not to care about people, because that would be unhumane. But I'm speaking to those out there who seek for quick validation and, whatever it may be. You live your life for other people or within other people's reality just so you can feel fit in. But the moment you go to your room by yourself and there's nobody around you, you feel so lonely that it's very scary. You cannot live with yourself. I'm talking to those people right now. That recession gonna hit you really, really, really hard if you don't pivot and adjust. Because those same people, they don't really care about you. They don't. And just have that mindset. Love them anyway. But you don't have to be part of their own reality so they can feel good about themselves. And when they feel good about themselves, that's when you feel good about yourself. And I know I'm speaking with a special group of people, and they probably understand as they're listening to this, Julian, is that before you can be part of anyone else's life, and I'm not even talking about relationship when it comes to dating. Now, that's what I'm talking about, like regular friendship, regular associates. Before you can give somebody true value of yourself, you need to be able to spend time alone with yourself and understand what's going out there, what's going on within yourself, before you can actually relate to what's going on outside of yourself. We're talking about the economy here. We're talking about a recession that can potentially happen at any time. You cannot be in your feelings and trying to blame government. You cannot be in the feeling trying to blame the community. You just have to be in your feeling and blaming yourself and take full responsibility, because you get caught with your pants down. But anyway, like I said, I don't want to get in trouble, Joe. I don't want to preach, man. Today is Monday. I don't want to be preaching,
That's funny. Getting caught with your pants down, man. You don't be out here looking crazy.
Straight up.
But it's the truth. Like, you can literally get caught with your pants down out here. And the tide rolls back. You see who was swimming naked, honestly. Like,
there you go.
All said and done. Like, who wasn't preparing. And it sucks because the people that James are talking to, there are 60-year-olds who still don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing.
Still don't get it.
I don't mind you get caught swimming naked. Ain't nothing wrong with that. If it happened one time, cool, accident. Happened 2 times, maybe you wasn't paying attention. 3 times, you're definitely missing something. 4 times, that's a sign of ignorance. I'm sorry if you're listening to this. That's just my opinion. And today I did a video. I said, hey, everybody has the human right to have an opinion about you. Just like you have your right to have an opinion about anyone that's living right now. But all I'm saying is, if a recession caught you 4 times with your pens down, we can agree that there is something definitely wrong. Yes. Like, hey, and don't be surprised. Listen, let me be straight up, right? Because we don't know what life brings, right?
Right.
Say 5 years from now, and I'm not hoping that on myself, but you're gonna watch this, and I don't forget if we had that whole thing. But anyway, say 5 years from now, you're gonna watch this, Julian, and somebody watching this, and they see James is homeless under a bridge. Oh, isn't that same person who was talking about getting cut with the pens down? I promise you, a recession might be my 2nd or 3rd time. It's not gonna be my 4th time. And if it happened my 4th time, I'll take it. I'm ignorant. I'm purely ignorant. And then I'm serious, bro. I'm serious. I'm so serious, because you don't know what life brings. But all I'm saying is, don't get caught. I mean, if it happened to you for the 4th time, if you at least listen to that episode, you say, you know what? I was missing something. Maybe it's ignorance. Let me put my ego down and really learn. The moment you do that, you're not ignorant anymore. You find a 15-year-old, you find a 17-year-old, you find a 5-year-old or a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old or whatever you can learn from. Just learn. Put that ego aside. But because the ego don't pay the bills. Like the ego don't create generational wealth a lot of the time. So, especially when it's tied to like negative emotions. Yeah, but anyway, I don't want to get in trouble.
That was big, man. That was a big one. Like most older people think they can't learn from a younger person. And like you said, the ego. But what amazed me was last week when we were at, the chamber and we were teaching, the women, the ladies there, man, they were older than us. They were approaching retirement. And they were saying like, dang, we were learning new things that we never knew our whole life. And we thought we knew what we knew. And we thought it was good enough. And there's just so much more out there that even more out there that me and James probably don't even know.
Of course.
So much out there that you can get and you can, start implementing new things. But to be able to teach someone who is older, hey, like it is what it is. At the end of the day, most of our, we didn't have the resources, the tools back in, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago that we do now. So, hey, like at least, be open, understanding and open to hearing someone younger. Don't just cut them off because it's disrespectful. You don't know how ignorant you look, how crazy you look, getting caught with your pants down and somebody younger than you knows a bit more than you, but you avoid it because you don't want to look a certain way because somebody's younger than you is teaching you something that you should know. And you know yourself that you should know it. And that's why you don't want to address the situation because you know deep down inside that I ain't shit. Like I pretty much ain't shit. And you know that. So you refuse to address it because it hurts. You don't want to go, through that accountability. You don't want to look at the person in the mirror. Just like we were talking last week with Ish about the, mental health is accountability. That's mental health issues. If you're going through a recession and you get caught slipping 4 times and you don't adjust, that's mental health. If you agree that you should be checking your mental. Like if your ego is that and your pride is that high, you have mental issues.
That's it.
To want to lose, to keep losing and keep living in defeat. So
I agree. I definitely agree. And to add to this, and I know we have to hit at this over an hour.
Yeah.
Here's my perception of a lot of things I do and a lot of things where I put my ego down and really seek to learn. And this is one of my philosophies I mentally use. I always seek for outside criticism, whether it's good or bad. And this is my mental picture. I always picture myself watching a soccer game. It's weird. It's probably the weirdest thing people will listen to, but it works for me. As you are watching a soccer game, even basketball game, it don't matter which game you're watching, but I use soccer. So imagine you were like in the middle of the stage and you're seeing all these people playing. The distance that you are at, you can visualize every single player and where they stand in the field. So that's why you as a viewer, you can criticize the game 100% because you could probably see the whole picture because you see all the players. Now, the player that has the ball can only see who's in front of him, maybe who's in the side of him. If he or she pay attention, they probably know who's in the back of them. It's not fully accurate, but we can actually say the person with the ball can only see where they're trying to go, They focus to score. As you're trying to focus to score, you can make a lot of mistake. That's my view. I'm just unpacking it. You can make a lot of mistake as you have the ball because you're only focusing on one thing, which is scoring. But sometimes you don't see that other person who was open to your left or to your right. And then you end up messing it up. So how do I actually connect these together when it comes to my personal life? is that somebody outside of myself can actually potentially see what I'm doing wrong, because I cannot see myself. Like, you can see what I'm doing wrong. Through wisdom, you can guide me and say, hey, that person on the left or on the right is open. Pass the ball. It's time to pass the ball. And then I can pass the ball through your instructions. Because I don't see all 22 players in the field. I only see maybe the couple that's in my sight. So what am I really saying here, Julian? It's not even about putting your ego down. It's just really knowing that you are nothing without others. You are nothing without a coach. You are nothing without criticism. You are nothing without people around you. You're nothing. Just hopefully in your environment, the people you have around you see the best for you.
Right. Not lying to you. And
not lying to you.
Or avoiding,
where they can tell you, hey, the person on
Yeah.
the right or the left is open. You know, when you pass the ball, the team going to have to score. And what's the team? The team in that place is you. The team in that place is your family. The team in that place is your generational wealth. Because somebody outside of yourself is willing to guide you in the right direction. I mean, I'm not here to preach, man, but I feel like I preach enough, brother.
That was excellent, honestly. Like, that was everything right there.
Sure.
We might have to end on that one, because that's exactly what, that's how you play this game, honestly. Like, you got other people around you. You just got to trust.
Yep.
A lot of people don't trust. A lot of people been scarred. They just don't trust the people around them. But trust people who are in your corner, people who know best for you. If they're telling you the truth and it hurts, keep those people around you. Like, if they're telling you the truth,
that's key, bro. I think you hit it right in the nail. If you have somebody in your circle, when they tell you things, it hurts.
Yeah.
And you know it's possibly the truth. These are the people you need on your circle. Yeah, I think you hit it right in the nail right there, brother.
Yeah, that's why you have so many people running around with fake friends and all of that, because it's comfortable. Like, this person ain't gonna challenge me, so I'd rather keep them around me. But these are reasons why cycles continue in families and everything, because nobody wants to tell anybody the truth. Nobody wants to be honest with each other, and including in families. Like, nobody wants to be honest. Nobody wants to tell this person, like, hey, this is not. No, don't do this. This is not the right way. And that lack of leadership and mentorship, like, get a mentor, have a mentor, guys. Like, it's a necessity to have a mentor or somebody who's there that can sharpen you and make you better. And like James said, you can't see everything about yourself. So somebody else may point something out, like, dang, it may hurt, because it's like nobody wants to hear something negative about themselves. But at the end of the day, that's not who you have to be. You can always change and adjust after that.
Yep.
So that's the beauty of this life. You always, and if you're breathing still and you're living, you got a chance to do it again and make it work this time.
100%.
So
I agree.
Right. Let's keep it trucking, y'all, and let's gear ourselves up. Let's prepare. If you got high credit out there in debt, pay it down. Credit cards are high, pay them down. Get ready to keep your money liquid. Keep that credit line open, during these times, because you never know what can happen, or you need to be playing offense during the recession. Like, if you're prepared, you can play offense. If you're generating money, you can play offense. You can, start investing and getting in stocks. Like, we're looking at the stock market. There's a bear market right now. So everything is down. Like, and that is one sign of the recession. Things are going down like crazy. We're looking at Amazon about to be under $100 a share. Apple is approaching close to $100 a share. Right. Google's about to do a split. All of these companies are down right now. Crypto is taking like crazy. What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin's at right now at $21,000. It was at 60,000 in the beginning of the year. Over, they said, I think 200 trillion was wiped out of the crypto markets.
Damn.
People's money is just being wiped out right now. So if you're fully invested in these things, man, don't be afraid to reach out to us. We'll help guide you in the right way. We're not, we don't provide investment advice. We don't do investments or anything, but we can show you a route that you can take to avoid, different things like inflation or market volatility or taxes. We can show you things to avoid those three robbers of money. So 100%. Definitely get at us, theagentandbroker.com, www.theagentandbroker.com. You can follow us on Instagram at the Agent and Broker Podcast, or like us on Facebook as well, the Agent and Broker Podcast. And I'm excited about this year, man. We got some big things coming, and we're happy and excited for everybody who tunes in. And we're very grateful for you guys to, our regulars and people who are downloading the podcast. We'll be hitting 300 views soon. This summer sometime we'll be 300 to 400 to 5 to 6, 7, and keep growing.
Keep growing.
The more quality guests we bring on, we'll be growing even more. So that is the goal. I wanted to leave off of that on that note, man. You got anything else before we wrap up tonight?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What I have on is, of course, thank you to all the viewers, all the downloaders. Just keep sharing this, because we know we need this as a people. And I'm gonna just leave with something you said in the Chamber of Commerce when we was actually doing our presentation, Julian, which just gonna bring things into perspective for people who's listening to this right now. So imagine you live in a household of 4, husband, wife. Maybe you're 18 years old, you're still at your mama and daddy house, which, by the way, to me is an extremely positive thing.
Smart thing to do.
Smart thing to do. Like if
30s, you got to do it.
Do it. If you're 18, 21, 25, or whatever, and you're trying to move out your mama house and your daddy house, I'm not going to say you stupid, but think it over. Think it over. Okay? But anyway, I'm going to leave to this note that you cover during our presentation in Eatonville Chamber of Commerce the other day. Is I want you to imagine you in a house, a family of 4. Every single one of you have a 750 credit score. With a 750 credit score, you can potentially get $25,000 line of credit or loan each. And what is that? That's about $100,000 together. So you imagine that household has $100,000 in credits together, and boom, recession happens. Maybe the housing market tank to a certain percentage where $100,000 can get you pennies in the dollar for your investments.
Access to 100,000. Look at that.
Access to 100,000 instantly, collectively, with your family. This is now preaching back again. This is why us as Black folks, African American, we need to stick together and get that stigma outside of your paradigm that was built for you.
Work.
So that's $100,000 access to credit, which you can use that $100,000 to purchase 1 or 2 real estate properties.
Use credit.
Put that baby in rental, and that become assets to you, baby. And eventually, you're gonna be getting that cash flow. You get that cash flow, and you grow your assets that way.
You use it to pay off the credit cards.
That's it. You use it to pay off
the credit cards, and you're using other people's money to buy assets, not consume. So you take the money, $25,000 each, and you go buy. Now imagine if a black neighborhood did that with 50 houses, each one of them got $100,000. You guys could go and buy the corner store. You can go buy the block up the street. You can go buy whatever, all of the vacant houses in the neighborhood. This isn't far-fetched stuff, bro. Like,
Nah.
this is stuff that can be done and implemented. It's just, it takes a bit of discipline, of course, which is probably the hardest thing for people is the discipline there. And then also trust as well, like trusting that somebody's not going to do something stupid. But that comes from being taught a certain way and growing up in an environment where, you know, you can trust people and your family has built trust. So if that's something y'all interested in, man, let us know. You need to work on, if you need to get that 750 credit score, let us know as well. You know, I have a credit repair business as well. I don't really advertise it that much because I only want to use it when it's necessary for people. So if I know you and you need credit fixed, I can help you. I can assist you. My company can assist you in that manner. But I don't advertise it and because it's a risk industry when it comes to funding and things like that. So I don't want to be out there saying that I'm a credit repair business or agency. You know, that doesn't look good to banks when it comes to getting business credit, when it comes to getting other credit. So I operate a certain way and manner like that. But, you know, if you guys need any help with the credit on the credit side of things, you can definitely reach out to us.
Definitely.
Having access to that money is everything, man. Like, you got access to 25K. Even like you get even more discipline. If you are disciplined, you can do that. You can run that play there. That's 100,000. And if you had equity, over 100,000 in equity in your house, you can get a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, which is another credit card on your house. Now you have $200,000 in buying power and spending power that you can spend for assets. You can go buy properties at $10,000 down. You can go and purchase 10 properties for 100,000, or you can get 20 properties. There are 20 properties cash flow you, let's say like $5,000 to $6,000 a month, or $7,000 after all of the mortgages. You're getting $7,000 a month from passive income coming in. Use a part of that to pay that down, pay those cars down. Like, these are things that people can do. And I'm not advising anybody to do that, but those are options that are out there that you can literally go to your bank and do.
100%.
But it depends on what bank you go to, and you know what bank is going to lend you $25,000. Like, there are banks out there that will do it. You just got to find those banks. And if y'all want to know more, you know, like I said, come to the Chamber of Commerce tomorrow, or join in live on their website, on their Instagram or Facebook Live. Like, they'll be live, and I'll be dropping some gems on certain banks to go to where you can go and get $25,000 in credit that you probably never heard of. So I wanted to end on that note, man. And thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you to all the people who was listening or watching. Julian and I, from the bottom of our heart, we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
You know, just keep sharing this. You know, keep downloading this, because hey, listen, like I always say, it's two young men who get together and decide to bring you valuable content that can potentially change your life. You know, so with that being said, have a good night. You guys enjoy your evening, and God bless you.
Absolutely. Peace.
The agent and the broker put you on the right path. And if it ain't adding up, then do the right math. And when you wanna come up, some might laugh. But them be the types to be the overnight staff. Always be a worker, we tryna be some owners. Sometimes might strike out, sometimes we hitting homers. But one thing's for sure, when the money gets uncovered, hit the agent and the broker. Say thank you to my brothers.